Well. Lucky Lou brought us to this neck of the woods. You guessed it, it's your boy, Sodi Pop, right back here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, let's make sure that music is off. I believe it's off for you, but is it off for me? All right, welcome. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am wearing green shirt, Scotch, inside or something like that. Got it at the mall a while ago. So I'm sure it's not made in Ireland though. All right, well, thank you so much. Welcome back to Sodi Pop. We have a comic drop today, or that just happened. Of course, I did not land one. I haven't landed something in a while. However, I did land one of the Ukrainian flowers, which was really cool. And then I picked up a low mint gold Ukrainian flower because everything, again, has nearly just been down and down. So we'll talk about the markets. We're going to read the comic, of course, for today, find out if it's any good, and go on from there. I do have the Spider Woman, looks like up, ready, and loaded. Hopefully it is the right one. Number 37, I believe it is. Sweet. So we will talk a little bit about the comic here and get into market and the reading. If you're in chat, say hello. If not, thank you so much for coming. All right. Interesting. So, we'll have to look. In the app, they had number 37. It goes all the way up to 25, then skips to 32, and then 45. It's really odd. It's a really odd one. Maybe. Spider Woman, let me double check. Make sure that they have this one in the app. That's a very odd one that they wouldn't have. I don't know why. And yeah, it says 27 issues, only 16 issues. Number 37. Wow. So they might not have this particular one in the app. Very interesting. 17. Yeah, I'm searching up specific issues and it looks like they might not have this one in the app, which is crazy. This is the first time I've ever come across that so far. Better Woman not being in the app. Tito 420, no luck today, but it's okay. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Happy St. Patrick's Day if that's something you celebrate. It's interesting here on the West Coast. It's really not a big thing, but of course, like in Chicago and stuff, making the river green and all that stuff. New York, I'm sure it's huge. East Coast. When I lived in Chicago, it was much bigger as far as like celebrations and stuff. I actually was in Dublin, Ireland for one St. Patrick's Day many years ago, and I didn't think it'd be that big because I was always told that the Irish don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. However, there was a big parade and everything, and a lot of drunk 13-year-olds. So it was pretty cool. Um, all right. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I never even expected this. I don't think the Marvel Unlimited app has Spider-Woman number 37. So we will talk about in the moment. And Tito 420, I hope you're doing well. And I know you are a car guy. I'm curious if you got the James Bond car. Keep on thinking Maybach, and it's obviously not a Maybach, but I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. Aston Martin. There we go. If you got the Aston Martin car. All right, so let's look at the comic here. The original, just lovely. I actually, this is one of the ones where I really enjoy the alternative covers of the rare and the ultra rare. Like the expression in the face where she is screaming, the cape in the background flowing, looks really good. And then of course you have the very clean secret rare. However, it's really interesting the motion that they chose for the character. I don't love, like, it's not super iconic as a lot of the other ones are, where like someone's standing straight. I felt the same way about the Ghost Rider Secret Rare, where it's just like a really weird dance they chose to show them in. But it's from the original comic usually, so that is where I'm guessing they're taking it from. Yes, you bought the Ultra Rare. Cool. I was assuming you would. That's awesome. Good to hear. I mean, why not? All right, so 30,000 editions, of course. Cover variants 5. I might just have to buy this on the open market so we can read it. It's going to be a little bit more interesting of a reading open market. That's very key. I'm gonna do a quick search on here. So 30,000 editions. Is it super sought after? Probably not. You have the edition of the Siryn. Siryn will probably be coming up. Spider Woman will definitely be coming in the next Spider or Spider-Verse movie that you have with Miles Morales, of course, coming, I believe, at the end of this year. I want to say October is the release date set so far for that. And the Into the Spider-Verse 1 was a fantastic movie. Probably one of, if not the best Spider-Man movie I enjoyed. I remember I took my girlfriend to it, and she she is like not into animated stuff, but there's a few things where I'm like, just watch this with me. You don't have to like it, but just, just bear with me. One of them was Avatar: Last Airbender, and she ended up loving. And I've seen that like 4 or 5 times now, all the way through. Not the movie. The movie's absolutely atrocious and terrible, but the TV show, and then Into the Spider-Verse, I'm like, hey, I've heard this is really good. Just give it a shot with me. And so we went and saw it, and she's like, oh my God, that was amazing. And it really is. Really, really, really good movie if you haven't seen it yet. And, just like the reason why I'm reading these comics is because I want to get my own feeling for how I feel about it. Because if there's a comic that really hits me, I'm like, cool, I'll buy that from the store that maybe I wouldn't have. The last comic that we read was the was the Amazing Spider-Man number 86, I believe. And this one was like super okay. It really didn't strike a chord with me. The origin story of Black Widow, they kind of like rushed her husband dying. She fell in love with Hawkeye. It just kind of like it was all over the place. It makes sense because it was very quick. It was a comic. Are you buying or selling right now with this market price being low? Hito 420. You don't know me very well. Sell green, buy red. However, I did tweet out the other day that, I can see more downside happening for the market over time. And right now, I'm actually looking for those low mints that are right around floor price. You're seeing a lot of people releasing like really low, sub 1,000, sub 500, sub 100 even I've seen. I saw a sub 100. It was a Unicorno. It was a number 42, which number 41 is the lowest you can get. That's the lowest they have released. Number 42 for almost floor price. Someone got it. They, I think, tweeted it out or they put it on Reddit, and I'm assuming it's true. Let's just say it's true. But I've had a couple of my own experiences where even I got a really, really low mint of the first appearance of Captain Marvel for 33 gems, going for 7 gems, but it was like 225 or something like that. It was a really, really low mint. I can look at that in a moment. But that's what I'm looking at for, like these really insane deals, because I kind of missed the early days. I was buying in the early days, but I kind of missed the early days of like low mint hunting, that sub 100, sub thousands, because the lower the mint, number one, it's just easier to sell. And there's certain people who search for those in particular, and those people usually have much more gems. However, I will say I won't pay like triple or quadruple. I don't believe it's, unless it's a very like special mint. 42, I understand. Anything sub 100 is kind of like more in that special category. However, I don't want to pay anything more than like 10 to 30%, depending on the mint number of the floor price, because I believe the floor price, whatever's going to happen, nothing's going to sell too out of reach of that floor price unless you, again, you have a really special mint. So I try and stick to around the floor prices, find a good mint around that floor price, and I'll just go inside the app and sort by edition number, and I'll just scroll through and take my time. And there's so many things to look through right now that you can find good mints, especially on the stuff that's a little bit older. Maybe it's forgot about currently. It definitely won't be forgot about long term. Well, depending what it is, right? But a lot of the bigger stuff, a lot of Batman stuff, season 1 in particular, won't be forgotten about. And the lower the mint, the easier it is to sell. So I'm looking for that. However, I believe there could be more downside. So I'm DCAing, dollar cost averaging. The time to sell and to sell a bunch of stuff was in January when everything was going up like crazy, right? I did sell some stuff. I traded some stuff. And now I'm just kind of waiting. I probably am not going to sell, and I'm putting in more fresh gems of anything, putting in more my cash to get stuff that I really want. And then I've built little stacks. So the Captain Marvel comic, I mean, first appearance of a pretty major character. She has her own TV show, and there's going to be a second crop of the What If Marvel series coming up, so she could appear in that. Same with the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. Same with the Zombie Captain America. I mean, they didn't just release those. Zombie Captain America was around for like 2 seconds, right, in the first show. So you can imagine that they're going to have bigger plans for them. Also, we did see Captain Marvel's shield in the upcoming Doctor Strange promotions, that movie. So I believe that Captain Marvel could do pretty well, and that's the first appearance of her, that comic, or first edition, whatever you want to call it. The first appearance in the comic of Captain Marvel. And so I did buy like 10 of those just to have them on stock. I have a bunch of the Ghost Spider or Spider Ghost, and I did a giveaway a little bit ago, and I'll be doing a giveaway again. So no issues with that. So yes, long story short, I am buying right now. I'm taking my time, selling unless something really pops off. No, this is personally, in my opinion, not the time to sell. If you're getting nervous about the prospects of VeVe in the future, maybe you would sell. I don't really invest in anything that I'm not really into myself. Uh, that's where where maybe I missed Dogecoin. I've learned my lesson on a few of like the really dumb stuff. I'll put just like a couple $100 in when it's crazy, crazy low. If I'm like, all right, this is dumb enough to be something, but I'm never gonna put like real money. But I tried low mint hunting when I first got into VeVe, but now I only try to collect mints with 420 around the floor price. 420, there we go. Nice. 420 is a great 420, and 69 will always be great mints. I mean, 69 is hard to get because it is a sub 100 mint as well. So yeah, low mint hunting was never a game I was interested in, especially because there's already so many people doing it. However, it is easier to do it now than it was a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, probably in winter of last year as well. But good news on the horizon, dudettes, brass case, abracadabra. All right. Coin market cap. Coin, right? But that's okay. BTC doing pretty well today. It got to 41K last night. Carrying back up. Not back up past 3,000 yet. OMI is probably still down overall. I don't know. Yeah, so 0.0034 got back up to 0.004 recently. Still down overall, like in the 7 days for sure, but doing a little bit better. I'm not too concerned about OMI. Until OMI's on a bunch of exchanges, I don't care. I also don't look at the day-to-day at all. Why is that? Is because OMI is still an altcoin. So until Bitcoin decides to do, everyone pays attention to Big Daddy Bitcoin. This is the 100,000-pound gorilla in the room in general. I don't care if there's not a Bitcoin pairing on all exchanges. There's a lot of like excuses as to why OMI wouldn't. If Bitcoin crashes, OMI's crashing too. Almost the same with absolutely everything. There's an exception of Luna, Terra Luna, which was a stablecoin platform and DeFi and all that stuff. Luna did pretty well, and hasn't been respecting the trends. But so over the month it is still up. 7 days is down, but over the month it is still up and was doing pretty well because it had some like good news. And yes, there's going to be individual coins that randomly do this stuff because they have good news. Icon ICX, they just had a new president elected in South Korea. That's very crypto friendly. I don't know much about his other politics, but I just know very crypto friendly. And so that had a big boom because Icon is like a major coin in South Korea. So anyways, there's going to be little individual times things pop off. And unless you're actively trading by the day, month, or week, I really don't care. I'm holding this stuff. I want it to be a year plus to get into that long-term capital gains, at least for the United States. So it's taxed less. If it goes off in 20-30x, that's a difference because that's a huge amount of gains. And I'll always take some profits on something that massive. A lot of my stuff has not hit profit targets, so I'm holding on to some of it. I'm definitely not an active trader. And maybe a swing trader if, again, something takes off to a crazy amount. But I really don't do that much trading because it also is a logistical nightmare and trying to like go back and forth. It already is difficult enough with any sort of NFTs. However, there are programs that help you do that. So I'm not cointracking.info, and there's a whole bunch of other ones that help you manage that. So don't be scared if you're wanting to get into this. Definitely pick a good teacher, time. However, back to my point, Bitcoin's doing well. This goes up and breaks out, and which we could see because everything going on in the world right now with inflation, we have the Federal Reserve just raised interest rates, 25 basis points they call it, so 0.25%. They raise. What that means is that banks, they get money from the government to loan out to us. So it's Mercs, and so do businesses and a bunch of other stuff upstream, right? Loan out to us. So essentially, all interest rates on credit cards, interest rates on mortgages, interest rates on anything, any products you get from the bank will go up in general. Uh, by how much, I don't know. But their money is more expensive. So now our money is going to be more expensive if you try and get a loan, or you already have a loan and it's a variable interest rate. You have a mortgage and it's a variable interest rate. It's fixed rate. Cool. Good for you. However, I don't know that much in depth. When will it raise? I don't know. So ask your financial advisor. Oh, it may look like I have a coffee, but I just kept up from a few days ago and I made a little coffee because I didn't want a really big one, but I only have kind of, yes, I know I could just make it smaller in the cup, but I like my cup being full for some, feels better. Full of ice, especially. Um, Back to what I was speaking about. Anyways, so Bitcoin, this is the kind of environment it was built for, right? Is that inflation, which is happening, or is happening, people may be trying to escape countries with the wealth still intact. So, and we saw the UK also just announced they are not they there was a proposed ban on proof of work mining, meaning Bitcoin and a bunch of other coins. However, that was stopped and nixed. That's no longer happening, which is great. So they essentially put forth some common sense regulations or some regulations. So the point was, it was never illegal in the UK, but now it is not being made legal, but they're putting regulations forward. The US, we saw the past week, Biden came out and said, hey, we want to be leaders in the crypto industry. Good. They want to stop scams. It's also good. You know, there's been a ton of scams and rug pulls and stuff, and it would be nice to have more legal recourse against random actors that are doing this on the internet, NFTs, whatever. It's a bad idea because all this stuff is very, very traceable. So even if they make it illegal in a couple years, doesn't mean that what you did was still legal, because just because there's no specific jurisdiction around. So everything is looking really positive for crypto in general. Again, any major sell off of assets is probably going to include crypto in the short term. However, I'm pretty bullish long term. And then you look at stuff like VeVe. I've been bullish for a long, long time. It still has a lot of the first appearances of stuff. Then you look at the DC card thing. That's going to have a lot of first editions because, again, anything in art, and this is true in the physical world. That's why collectibles, that's why VeVe has said, come out and said, hey, art and cards and stuff is going to be first edition. Collectibles will be first appearance. That's how it's treated in the real world. So that's how they're trying to treat it within VeVe. And that's how other companies probably will treat it as well. That you have a first appearance in a physical, like digital model. Then you have anything on a card or printed or what have you is art and can be a first edition of something. So VeVe still has tons of first appearances. The card thing from DC, really cool. And I don't know if it will do well. I'm a little bit skeptical as to the value proposition, and I will talk about why later. But we will see if the market is open right now. 8:30 might not be open. Here's the rub. So it looks like they don't have the comic on Marvel Unlimited, which is insane to me, right? They don't have the comic. Oops, sorry guys, move the mic there. They don't have the comic on Marvel Unlimited. However, probably have the comic on VeVe, so we can see the comic reading experience on VeVe, which is not awesome, unfortunately. But we can go through it. I can Get to do my Irish accent. Siryn, Irish laddie. No, yeah. The market isn't up yet, which is just fine. So we will hang out here. I might have to buy a comic so we can read it. Totally fine. And look, this is going to be a comic. It's like, oh, it's going to be 40 gems for the common for whatever stupid reason. Can't believe they don't have issue 37. That's just absolutely wild to me. Yeah, that's wild. So let's go ahead and look at a few things in the market. So I'm going to, I think it logged me out. So I'm going to quickly put in my credentials here while we wait. Let me know how your day is going. If you got a drop, Tito 420, I know you did not get the drop. I didn't get the drop either. Very unfortunate. I'm going to scream soon. But any of these drops, I'm going to have a very, very tough time getting. You know, it means we probably just still have more. Maybe it's slowed down. Definitely the gems coming into the app has slowed down. That is true. And we can see that from a couple of different spreadsheets, of which maybe I can pull up one. I'm going to see if I can pull up one of them I have here from Puddin' Cheeks. I know people have looked at it before. I have it in over here. Go. From Dave DCB Black.eth. He's a really great contributor as well. So this is the spreadsheet from Puddin' Cheeks on Discord, Twitter, all that great stuff. And we can see the gem growth rate here. So I will say I can't highlight it because I don't have permission to edit. It's fine. I can highlight it. At least. So you can see this is the latest one. 316. This was yesterday. Gens in app. Let me just highlight and then we can kind of zoom in over to the past month or so. So he goes over the burn and everything. The burn like now is really until we start getting past the reserves of the burn and getting into the actual supply where it's going to affect the price. I don't care too much about the burn. Like it's the total burn 34 billion, right? They have, I believe, at least 300 billion. It's going to take them, if they're burning at this rate, of course the burn has slowed down tremendously, but if they're burning at this rate, you know, another 10 years, right? Because you just times that times 10. Of course, it will go up and down through the days. And everyone was getting really excited about like, oh, they'll, you know, Jeremy Padawar talking about how the burn rate, if he extrapolated out, if they burn this much, of course, that's never going to happen because if the burn rate is crazy high, there's always going to be, once OMI especially is on many exchanges, burn rate will even out with the price of the token. So if the burn rate goes up, you can imagine it means it's more popular. So will the price of the token go up? Means the burn rate will then go down because it's more expensive. So to burn more OMI, you have to have more dollars in app exchange, blah, blah, blah. That hasn't happened because OMI has always been on like your 5 exchanges. Like it's been on really dumb exchanges, right? Ones that are not easy to use, don't have the best liquidity. Not Coinbase, not Kraken, not Bittrex, not any of these big ones, even Gemini or something. Not on any of those. So, and you still have to burn. My understanding is that you have to burn through. You can see the circulating supply 266 billion, but there's also a reserve supply separate from this. So the 266 billion goes into the price, right? So the more supply we have, price will go lower, right? The less supply we have, the will go higher if demand remains the same. But there's a whole separate bucket, which is the reserve, and that's what that's what this burn is happening right now, from what my understanding. So, they have the burn wallet and all that stuff. But the burn overall, good. I'm happy that they're doing it. So with the gems and app, we have seen, and I just want to show you that we have seen a drastic decrease. So it went from $116 billion to 119. Still, gems are coming in the app. So it's still really, really good. So as we compare it to January 1st down here, where we went from 76, see if we have January 1st to the 31st. So 76 billion, 107 billion. So about 30 billion in addition. Whereas we have another month period. Let's take February. So 30 billion, remember that number. February only had 28 days, but too much. Quite a difference from 108 to 117. So only about a $10 billion. So you cut that growth by a third. However, it is still growing. But yeah, 30 billion growth as to 100 whatever growth. It is expected for growth, overall growth, to slow down as people come in, but it is still growing. Why is it still growing? Well, you can't take your gems out yet, MTL. MTL has been approved for some big addresses. So are they not pulling everything out? No, they're not. Of course they're not going to. As long as there's the ability for people to make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x, 100x, especially on things they're investing in, they're going to keep on doing it. And in the short term, that might not be true, but a lot of the OGs, myself included, have seen how good, how well you can do with early and often investments in this stuff, especially in good stuff. The FAs and a lot of the bigger ones are important, right? Market is open. Thank you very much, Tito420. You're my man. And so, with doing so well in the short term, and this the exact same thing happened for cryptocurrencies. A lot of YouTubers around 2018, 2019 would be like, oh, the next bull market, I don't know if altcoins is going to be part of it. I remember Crypto Zombie very vividly. It was like he would say this a lot. And I was like, I think he was always like, he took the middle road of like, I don't know if they will, they could not. But kind of more in the camp of they will is how I felt said. And of course, Tone Vase always thinks that Bitcoin is the only thing that matters and everything else is illegal, right? So you had enough people saying, I don't know if altcoin is going to be part of the next bull run. And my opinion was always, altcoins are so much smaller than Bitcoin. If there's the ability to 10, 100x your money, which is much, much more difficult in Bitcoin because Bitcoin has to go from 30,000 right now or 40,000 to 400,000, which is much more difficult than an altcoin going, that's number 500 on the list, going from 0.01 cents to 50 cents, right? And that's a 50x. People will do that. They will take the risk, even if it doesn't have the best fundamentals or what have you. Whereas I only invest in stuff that I feel that has good fundamentals that I believe in the future of. So VeVe, I feel, has that, and it's going to draw the speculators and the people that are just trying to get rich quick because it still has that ability and will have that ability for a while as things remain low because there's only so many of these collectibles. So we're seeing a dip, and that's okay. This is the time to buy. Market is open and Tito420 is correct. Thank you so much. So let's get going. Let's plug this bad boy in. I don't want to buy. This is not my account. Go. Rita, yeah. Beautiful. So we can look at Spider Woman and we will see what she's selling for. 725 seems about right. And this is not my account. So let's see. Maybe I will do it on my phone and we will read it from my phone. I'm going to go ahead and purchase one of these so we can actually read it. It says, it's interesting. Does anyone else have to reload? The market doesn't reload on its own for me when it's open, so I have to close the app and fully refresh it. I don't know if that's true for everyone. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead buy one of these commons. That looks like out of. I don't have any gems in my account right now. Sure, that one's gone. Yeah. I'm like, I tried to buy one and it took way too long. Let's see. We want it around a 7 gem. Look at addition, low to high. Cool. See what we can get around 7 gems. There's not much listed right now. There's only 217 on the markets. This will be one that probably sells 7 to 10 gems. I'm not hopeful that this is very high. Go back to regular looking. Maybe I'll try and buy like an. Oh, you know what? I like the rare and ultra rare gems right now. Where is the secret rare sitting at 170? So very, very low first rare, right? Here, let you guys follow along with me. We're sitting at 170, which, hey, if you're looking for MCP points, not a bad deal, right? Especially if you can get a low 5% mint. Don't see anything. So 5%, 30,000 additions. 10% would be 3,000 additions. 5% would be anything below 1,500 would be 5%, right? I don't see anything there, but I really don't want to pay that much for this. So, all right, I'm just gonna stick with trying to get a comment, and then we'll do what all here for. Um, always like bots or people or someone who just like buys it. We're just gonna get a random one, clicked in the middle. That one missed too. Not even looking for anything special. I just want to buy a single one. Ah, cool, got one. Perfect. All right, let's detach from here for a second. Go with this second. And reading. Beautiful. Should be ready to go. Connecting. Time out. And beautiful. All right, there we go. So I'm going to be reading from this bad boy today. Screen brightness. Okay. All right, here we go. Go into my collection. Read. Spider Woman probably should be all the way at the bottom. They kind of do it alphabetically, more or less. All right. So we have. Oh, should we read it in AR? Is that too? It's gonna be really weird, difficult, isn't it? Uh, Set up for good. No, that's gonna be a lot to handle. Okay. Spider Woman, Marvel Comics. All right, everybody. So, when Jessica Drew's father injected her with a serum of spider blood, he cured her of a fatal disease, changed her life completely. Watch her now as she confronts her responsibilities, problems, and the unbelievable power. Stanley presents the mysterious Spider Woman. Beautiful. So we're starting out with Nick Fury of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Or the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is Colonel Nicholas Fury, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Supreme Headquarters International Espionage Law Enforcement Division, one of the finest intelligence services in the world. Here aboard S.H.I.E.L.D.'s primary command base, a huge orbital helicarrier flying high above the Earth, He is above and impervious to attack as anyone can be. A. But, as Fury has learned from often bitter experience, no defense is foolproof. Alright, whoever you are, make a wrong move and I'll guarantee it'll be your last. You! Why, Nicholas, is that any way to greet an old friend? Spider Woman! Hanging out. What the blazes are you doing here? Hanging out in his office. He drops down. How do you get aboard? And more importantly, into my office undetected. Intruder systems are good, but I am better. I was trained by a secret agent long before I became a superhero, remember? Only too well. But after you gone, I think my chief of security and I are going to have a little chat. Like my new toy, it's a hologram field, capable of creating three-dimensional illusion of a local on Earth. It sure makes a pleasant change from staring at the steel walls. What can I do for you, Spider-Woman? This visit business or pleasure? Business. I need a favor, Nicholas. A friend of mine. He has applied for a private investigator's license. He needs a recommendation from a reputable law enforcement official. She's asking Secret Field for a letter of recommendation. That's hilarious. Think I fill the bill? I'm flattered. What's your friend's name? I'd rather you didn't ask. I could find out. I trust you not to try. Fair enough, actually. I'm glad you're out of the bounty hunting game. You and McDowell made a good team, but I always had a feeling that you weren't the type. Why? Because I'm a woman? Don't be ridiculous. A bounty hunter needs to be hard, ruthless, cruel. In many ways, vicious as the creeps they hunt. You couldn't be those things, except perhaps ruthless, if you tried. And trying to tear you apart. Here's your recommendation. All you asked and more. Left the name blank. So she won't tell him a name, but she's getting a letter of recommendation from one of the top people. Colonel Nick Fury. Blank. You know, Nicholas. I have so many names, so many identities. I've lied so many lies. I wish. Oop, this is Spider-Woman. Blank. You know, Nicholas. So many names, so many identities. I've lied so many lies. I wish I knew who I really truly was. You want to talk about it? No. Yes. I never knew my parents. Remember them. In fact, I don't remember anything about my childhood. The first concrete image I can recall is seeing myself at age 10 for the first time. I was told by the high evolutionary that had been in cryogenic hibernation since infancy, and that both my parents were gone. He pledged to raise me as his own daughter. My home was Wondergore, where the high evolutionary used his genetic accelerator to give animals the intelligence and facilities or faculties of human beings, and with these new men, he hoped to create Camelot. But the new men shunned me, and the years passed, and the high evolutionary became more and more absorbed in his work. The loneliness became unbearable. I left Wondergore and made my own way down the mountain to a local village. Got a job. I met a young man. We fell in love. I was so happy. I should have known it was too good to last. One day, while my love and I were picnicking, some friends played a practical joke on us. I reacted without thinking, striking out in a mortal terror with powers I didn't know I possessed. I fired a venom blast. I struck my loved one. He died. Yikes, that's not good. Oof. Our friends cursed me as a witch and roused the village against me. They would have killed me had it not been rescued by Count Otto Vermis. That doesn't sound good. He served Hydra, international crime organization. He offered me a place in their ranks. Having nowhere else to turn, I accepted. Vermis thought he'd found a simple barmaid. He soon learned his mistake. In my years of hibernation, I'd received an education through sleep teaching, second only to the high evolutionary zone. At Hydra, I discovered the full extent of my power. Super strength, speed, agility, fantastically accurate senses, acute senses, the ability to walk on walls, ceilings, and glide, and of course, my venom blast. With Vermis' aid, I was designing a costume that would help me control my abilities. He disapproved. It was too individual for Hydra's taste. The latest sign of my incredibly rebellious attitude. He sent me an assassination. You, Nicholas, hoping thereby to bind me to. Instead, the caper crystallized all my growing doubts about myself and Hydra. The night I realized how truly evil Hydra was. I spared you, and I destroyed Vermis instead. Hydra and all it stands for. And I have been in, implicable foes, or implicable, that's a word I haven't heard. Implicable foes ever since. You know what's happened till now. Nicholas, I know so much about my life, yet I really know nothing. Everyone who's told me a history had grade, had motives for lying. Nothing about my past is certain, least of all my memories. So what? Okay, your past is a mystery, but to an extent, you're also irrelevant. What matters is who you are, not from where. Learn from your past, from your mistakes, but never let it rule your present. Nick Fury, secret agent, turned Zen philosopher. Your life is, it has to be, what you make from it, from moment to moment. Nick, I'm so sorry to disturb you. Something's come up. Hello? Hello, Contessa. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. Enter La Contessa Valentina, Allegro de Forte, one of Fury's top agents, who also is a woman he loves. Pardon me, Colonel. I wasn't aware you had a visitor. Catch the fate of civilization, as you know it depends on our determining what it is. Ow! You need me, you know where to reach me. Ciao. Val! Woman, can't live with him, can't live without him. Anyway, Spider Woman, as I was saying, where'd she go? Perhaps the lady moves fast and silent too. I better check the external scanners. Touch of a button creates a small holograph holofield above Fury's desk, and sure enough, just diving off the helicarrier's gleaming hull. Good luck, babe. I'll be rooting for you. I hope what I said did some good. You've had a rough life so far. You deserve a smooth run for a while. But if you ever need a helping hand, a friend to talk to, all you gotta do is whistle. I'll be there. Know that even miles below the helicarrier lies the city, by the bay, San Francisco, Spider Woman's new home, one of the great cities of the world, one of the most beautiful. Although the Dark Angel has been here only a few weeks already, it's cast a spell on her. The afternoon fog is sweeping off the Pacific Ocean. I was heading home. This is my first appearance as Spider Woman since Lindsay and I have arrived in Los Angeles. We've been so busy putting the flat share in order that I literally haven't had a spare moment until today. Enjoy it then, Jessica Drew, for it may well be your last. Morgan Le Fay, one of Spider Woman's deadliest foes. They last fought in Spider Woman #6. Her image appeared during my battle with Angar, the Screamer. I thought then she was one of the sonic hallucinations. Evidently, I was mistaken. She still exists and still hates me for defeating her. Eh, the fog closing in around me. Can't see. I daren't risk flying blind. I'm surrounded by hills and skyscrapers. Best climb straight up until I'm above the fog layer. No! The negative air pocket probably is too much for Morgan's doing. The fog. Lost my lift. I'm falling. A masterful attack, Morgan. You left me almost no room to recover. Wait, near the cliff. An updraft. It isn't much, but it'll have to do. Riding wayward wind currents that are so slight most people wouldn't even feel them. Red Woman manages to roll out of her air drive. Perfect. You want me dead, Morgan? You have to try a great deal harder. Tree. Ash. Too close. I can't dodge. Gonna say perfect? Ugh. Shortly after, she has untangled herself from the branches and swung gingerly down to the ground. My shoulder. For the brunt of that impact. Tender, but the arm still works. You should be grateful to have these things a lot worse. I just received a valuable, painful reminder that I have no inherent flying powers. I must glide, period. That makes me vulnerable to a foe who can control the winds around me. This round, you win, Morgan. Next time, though, I'll be ready for you. Alright, so she can glide, the gliding spider, but she can't fly. Oop, okay. Her thoughts are somber as she flies homeward to the gathering dusk. Morgan was probably the most powerful sorceress of her day, a formidable opponent of any age, and worse, she knows Spider-Woman's true identity, Jessica Drew. She could strike at any moment, Spider-Woman and her friends. Her route takes her past the massive monolithic fortress that is the San Francisco Mint. A heartbeat after, she soars overhead. A streetcar trundles up the debauched street and swings left onto Church. There she is, my darling, the source of the untold wealth. Some tourists in the bus. The gentleman with the beard is Black Tom Cassidy, mutant by birth, rogue by inclination, master criminal by profession. Companion is Kane Marco, better known as Juggernaut, also a mutant, also a villain. 100 kilos of pure vibranium, the entire United States supply, to be picked up tomorrow by Nicholas Fury, Shield's top honcho himself. Except that we're going to steal the whole kit and caboodle tonight. Then we ransom it back with the Americans and sell it on the international black market. Either way, we make a fortune. You'll be like rich, Teresa darling. If you say so, Uncle. Are you nervous, Teresa? A bit. Good. Beard's healthy and sharpens the weights. And keep him from making mistakes. Don't worry, Uncle Tom. I'll let you down. She's Irish. I will try and be Irish. I'll try it. Avo, what's up? Let's go. There we go. Thanks for joining in. Good to see you again. Back into it. A continent removed from San Francisco in a shadowed study in an old, venerable mansion on a lake situated half an hour's drive from Manhattan. A computer hums to life. It's called Cerebro. Its primary function is to detect superpowered mutants. The system, the brainchild, Professor Charles Xavier, himself a mutant telepath. The public knows him as the world's renowned geneticist, founder of an exclusive school for gifted youngsters. Only a very select few, however, know that school is really a cover for the team of mutant superheroes, the Uncanny X-Men. Mutant, San Francisco, possessing considerable power. He or she must be contacted. Upstairs, in her attic, Storm, the X-Men's tactical leader, waters a plant by using her elemental weather power to create a miniature rain cloud. Nice. Taken weeks for scrubbing the floors and the walls and the ceiling, but I finally rid my room of the physical and psychic stench left by the monster Sprite fought here last Christmas. This attic was like a jungle teeming with life and beauty, but all of my beloved plants. Only this one. Storm's awesome. But the room will be again. Professor? Pardon my telepathic intrusion, Storm. But, oops. Sorry, my keyboard. Yeah, see it? Pardon my telepathic intrusion, Storm. But would you please report to my study? Something's come up. Sorry, sometimes the next button is finished. Elsewhere in this sprawling mansion, Storm's teammates Angel, Wolverine, Colossus, and Nightcrawler are hard at work repairing the damage caused by the Sprite's epic battle. This module is hanging by a thread. My adamantium claws should have no problem cutting it free. Heads up below! Sprite, where'd she come from? Get out of here, kid. Huh, Angel? Yow! Boom! Kitty! I'm okay, Colossus. Saw it coming in time to phase through it. Gee, I wish you guys wouldn't yell so much. I can take care of myself, you know. Sure can, Pumpkin. X-Men. Astral image of Professor X. Complete your work, tidy up yourselves, and reporting to briefing room. You're needed for a contact mission. Wow, that's creepy. Alright, back in San Francisco. Back in San Francisco, the Dark Angel has arrived. 1 Yarborough Court, a classic 1878 Queen Anne tower house. It's a superb building in a nice neighborhood. Yet, Jessica's roommate, actress Lindsay McCabe, managed to rent the top floor and the attic for quite a reasonable price. I love how we're even talking about rent back in the day. Nice. The reason why she and Jessica discovered later was that the building, indeed, the entire block, is supposed to be haunted. That's cool. That's awesome. I like that. Wonder if I ever ran into ghosts of Spider-Woman, which one of us would be more spooked? No lights. No sound of anyone either. Lindsay must still be at the theater. But, just to be safe, I'll close my door. Crash took more out of me than I thought. I feel beat. Agenda for this long evening. Long, luxuriously hot bath. And then bed. So far, things are working out quite well between Lindsay and me. She lives in the front, in the flat, and I live in the rear. The schedule at the theater is so hectic that I can pretty much come and go as I please without worrying about disturbing her compromised identity as Spider-Woman. Jesse? Hi, Lindsay. Oops. Is that what you call bad timing? Oh, sorry about this, Jesse. It's what you call impromptu housewarming party. She invited a bunch of people over. Thanks. Come on, roomie. Let me know. It was a spur of the moment thing. I called to warn you, but you were out. I left scads of information, obscene messages on the answering machine. I just got myself in. I haven't had a chance to check it. Okay, troopers. Hit the road. Collect your rain checks in the door, and better luck next time. For what it's worth, I'm sorry about the cross signals. No, wait, this is ridiculous. I mean, they're all here. You've got so much trouble. Please stay. I think a housewarming party is a delightful idea. I just wish there was more of a house for you to warm. I'm afraid furnishings are still a bit sparse. That's funny. Actually, Lindsay, the problem is that I haven't a thing to wear. My outfits are in the wall. Got news for you, kid. Even if they weren't, you still wouldn't be having a decent thing to wear. Thanks. Anytime. Let's see. What's needed for some casual, elegant, more sensual than sexy? Good grief, Lindsay. How many clothes do you have? Beats me, but the more the merrier. While Jessica showers and changes, Lindsay organizes the party. And so by the time Jessica makes her entrance, it's going full blast. The guests she finds are an eclectic mixture of Lindsay's fellow actors and people from San Francisco Repertory Theater, plus neighbors. Anyhow, when I heard Harlan was writing the screenplay, Jesse, Tom, Duvall, yet another actor. Good evening. Hello. You know Nancy Galloway? One fine playwright. This is David Ishma. The lives in the ground floor flat. He lives in the ground floor flat, but not into the theater, bless him. He's our landlord. I know. I'm Jessica Drew. Lindsay, sweetheart. Ben, you made it, boss. I already gave Lindsay her housewarming gift. This is for you. A bonsai. David, it's beautiful. Nice. Oh ho, Ben's got the evil eagle eye on Lindsay. Big girl, she can take care of herself. Ben Disraeli's turn? I certainly hope so. Oh look, there's one tiny spider on one of the branches. How'd that get there? Sorry. Don't be. I have a certain affinity for spiders. Consider it a good omen. That's nice. What if the landlord for the building is a ghost? Because we know it's haunted now. Jesse, I want you to meet Ben Disraeli, the rep's principal director, and a scrumptious guy. Later. Okay, Lindsay, David showed me his garden. Good for you, Tiger. Go for broke. Sometimes Lindsay's enthusiasm can be a wee bit daunting. I can imagine. David, your garden is beautiful. I'm glad you like it. Lindsay said you weren't connected with the theater. What do you do? I'm a construction worker, crew boss on High Steel. Really? Really. My folks wanted me to become a professional, a doctor, lawyer, teacher, like the rest of my family. I saw things differently. I like using my hands, and I love the solitude of High Steel, the beauty, the danger. Ow. What's the matter? I wrenched my shoulder this afternoon. Still sore. Here, let me massage the knit out of it. How's that feel? Sinfully delicious. Went right for it. I aim to please. Seating. Kiss. Get some, Jessica. Get it. Get it. Suddenly, ah, Jesse, my ears, sonic screaming, blasting my head apart. I don't hear anything. My hearing is exceptionally acute. Oh, Lord, this hurts. Calling the paramedics. You need help? No, I'm all right. Really, just caught me by surprise. That's all. I have some pills to help cope with the pain. Could you please get a glass of water, David? Sure thing. I'll be right back. But as soon as Ishma disappears down his own flat, Jessica leaps for the side of the wall of the building and races up to the roof. I hated deceiving David like that, but I had to get him out of the way. Jesse, where are you? Jessica? In seconds, she reaches her bedroom, where she immediately grabs her hidden spider costume. Sonic attack. Sheer agony. I felt nothing like it. I wish I had some medicine capable of blunting its effects. If the scream keeps up, it'd cripple me, or worse. Only defense is to find its source and eliminate it. With that, the Dark Angel launches herself into the crisp, cool midnight sky. Almost immediately, it begins apparent that it's no isolated phenomenon. Dogs are howling everywhere. They must be suffering as much as I am. I can hear burglar alarms as well, all over the city. What's going on here? There's a police car. See if it can learn anything. This is crazy, headquarters. Says that everything burglar alarm, fire alarm, city is activated. They have no idea which call's legit and which is phony. What do we do, Paul? The only thing we can do, Doug, check them all. I'll take hours. I can work much faster than that by gauging the strength of scream from various locations. Triangulate its precise locations, providing my skull doesn't burst first. Soon, the Mint. This is the source. Calling the police will also be wasted effort. Their telephone lines are probably swamped, and even if I reach them, should they believe me? Whatever's happening, I'll deal with it myself. The scream seems to be emanating from the Uni Metro tunnel? Aha! Proverbial hole in the wall. Ingenious stratagem. No trains run the weekends, so there's a little chance of villains being disturbed, especially considering the diversion. Why are you bringing someone who screams super loud to a secret heist? Like, is that like you literally want to be quiet and secret, but your person's power you're bringing screeching. I mean, all right. So she's in the cave. But suppose a real fire occurs. With all these false alarms, the police and fire departments would never know it. People could be injured, could die. That sort of ruthlessness I will not abide. Shadows. Someone's coming. So far, so good. We're inside the Mint. In a matter of minutes, we'll be with none the wiser. Siryn's doing a magnificent job. I couldn't be more proud of her, for she me on. It's a pity me righteous cousin Sean knows nothing of her. It'd probably break his heart. Ha! Oh! That nerve print should keep him out for a good long while. I didn't want to lose Venom Blast on him, as it generates both light and sound. Until I know precisely who and what I'm up against, I don't want to advertise my presence. Mint employees, all unconscious, probably stunned by sonic attack. That weapon seems fantastically powerful at close range, probably deadly. Why? This is not a device at all. The screams are coming from a young woman. She must be the Siryn the man referred to. Recognize her basic costume design. It's patterned after the one worn by Banshee. Remember Banshee? He's the guy who works for X-Men. He was in the episode where they got the new uh, maid, but the new housekeeper, whatever. Banshee's Scottish or an Irish dude. He has a pretty thick accent. Back. So Banshee must be her uncle, seems like. But thought he was a superhero affiliated with a group called X-Men. Siryn any relation? Is that ye, uncle? I won't be a moment that screams, doing a fine job in the vault door. Glad to hear it, Siryn. Only I'm not your uncle. Too bad for ye. Whoops! Accent marks Siryn as Irish, her voice a little more than a teenager. But despite her youth, she knows how to use her abilities without functions, too. Sonic Lance could have killed me. She can defend herself as well as creating a bubble of sound around her to deflect my Venom Blast. She's too good for direct assault. I'll have to outwit her. Oh wow, she creates like a force field of sonic energy? Interesting. I advise you to surrender, Siryn. I advise you to surrender, Siryn. You've broken the law. Keep this up and you could be injured besides. Somehow I'll doubt I'm the one being in danger or being hurt. She flies. No end to the child's talents. Again, the sonic lance strikes out, slashing through the chains, restraining massive coiled sheets of copper and silver, sending them crashing down on the Dark Angel. Ugh! I saw that coming, managed to evade most of the falling rolls, but those monsters weigh 1,000 kilos apiece. Even a glancing blow is trouble. Gritting her teeth against the pain, Spider-Woman hurls some of the rolled sheets towards the Siryn, only to see the young villainess stop them in mid-air with a burst of sonic energy. Excellent. I have her right where I want her. She's concentrating so much effort and energy on those metal coils that she momentarily left herself wide open for another Venom Blast. Ah! She blasts her. Siryn was so powerful and superbly trained, but her inexperience cost her. Siryn! Lord of all, there. 3 of them? This one is huge and wearing some sort of body armor. Tried a full strength venom bolt. Juggernaut, you're not gonna get through him. Whop! It against the side. He's as strong and as big. That was no punch, only an open-handed slap, and I ducked most of it. Still nearly pulverized me. Gotta buy myself some time, breaking space, find something to think, plan. No dice, babe. You ain't getting away from me that easy. I'm called a Juggernaut. I figure I'm one of the strongest dudes on Earth, and more than that, to the point. No power, no being on Earth can harm me or stop me. The wall. Break some of the wall. Remember, Juggernaut is related to Professor X. I always find really interesting. Solid concrete, steel reinforced. He crumbled it. You're out of your league with me, honey, so pay attention to my warning. Don't you ever hassle me or my friends again, or I'll lose my temper. Get the message? Throws her. Crashed against the wall. She can finger her thumb. You want me to kill her? No, King. The federal larceny rap is a thing. Murder's another. Leave her where she is. No threat to us. She hasn't given up, Uncle. She's after Juggernaut's pounding. She's still struggling to rise. Aye, lass. She has a courage. I'll give her that. What? Got what we came for, Siryn. Let's be on our way. I wonder who she was. Who knows? Who cares? Ugh. Falls off the wall. For time to perhaps minutes or hours, the Dark Angel is lost in a blessed oblivion. The first thing she realizes, as awareness slowly gradually returns to her, is that she aches from head to toe. The second is that she is serious trouble. Spider-Woman, you're under arrest! Next, Spider-Man, criminal at large, and pay no attention to the 3 in the corner panel, because they won't be here for at least 30 days. See you then. Corner we have Colossus Storm and Archangel. So, I think Spider-Woman pulled the caper. What? She didn't pull the caper. We all know that. Very cool. Spider-Woman is possibly in trouble. We read the comic in AR. Definitely not the best experience compared to the Marvel Unlimited app. However, we still do have the experience, which is pretty nice. Maybe we'll read in AR next time. Well, oh, it might be finicky. Maybe I'll test it out and we will see. But hopefully that is not a sign of things to come. That was the first time I've not seen, and there's like 25 issues and there's like 36 or 37 altogether. So they're missing like 10 issues. So it wasn't that the Marvel Unlimited app just removed this one. They're missing quite a few issues, which is totally fine. My voice isn't double here. So that is just all right. We are just fine there. See, so we talked about cryptocurrency market. Prices are coming back up. We will see. I'm pretty bullish on the future. Short term, things could get messy. That's just fine. The OMI token burn doing well. Again, not too interested until they start burning actual circulating supply. That's really important because once they do, that will drive the price up. And we need to be on more exchanges for sure. Exchanges we're on, and everyone already knows that. The gems coming into the app is not growing as much as it was in January. It went up 30 billion. In February, it went up 10 billion, so 1/3 of what it was. I remember somebody saying like, "Oh, last summer it went up 300%." He used a percentage, right? Percentages are going to grow by less and less, so that's just fine. But we know from month to month it is down. That's what we see in the app. We see the prices going down. So that's pretty normal. However, it is still growing in general. There are some people that do have MTL that can take their gems off the app. So it's slowly rolling out. I'm not worried. I warned of this in my last video that I made, like officially, is that we could see MTL being taken advantage of by whales and everything. And honestly, all these Reddit posts and like people getting out of the app, people freaking out, I guarantee you, a lot of those people are picking up at these cheap prices. They want people scared, so they leave the app. They let go of their really valuable stuff and leave, and they can pick up the cheap prices. And they know it will, because MTL just makes VeVe official, right? Without MTL, without Immutable X, and it being open to the wider ecosystem, it would just be an app with NFTs on a private chain. It doesn't mean anything. Like, I could care less about that. So MTL makes it official and it makes it bigger to the wider swath of people. And as long as VeVe continues on, has all these FAs and stuff, and which it will, it's going to be just fine. So I have no doubt in that myself. So I read the comic, pretty decent comic. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed learning about her past. So we learned that she like grew up with parents died. She was like 10. Maybe she's a clone or something. Her name's Jessica Drew. She was part of this group that was supposed to be like Camelot, that was made from like human animals. She was rejected. She has like natural, like venom based powers. Very interesting backstory to her. Very odd. Something I didn't really expect. And maybe they will change the backstory for the more common. Ooh, my screen looks blurry. It is appearing fine. Maybe like this screen looks blurry. Hopefully not. It looks fine on my stream so far here. It looks, maybe it's just blurry because I had that Excel spreadsheet up and it's just so small. Also, if you don't have, you need to make sure that it's on like 1080p or above. Um, I think I'm broadcasting at, I do broadcast at 1080p. I upload my normal videos at 4K, just because 1080p is reasonable for most people to like watch. 4K can mess with the bandwidth and have issues. I've had issues on Twitch. I've not had issues here before, but I just keep it as 1080. So hopefully looks okay on my studio view and hopefully okay. I see it. Interesting. It is a little blurry when I blow it up. Nope. Quality. So for me, well, it's a little blurry for me because I can only view it at 360p. I see that right here. Uh, so I'm gonna like quickly log in and look, see what's happening there. Mm, oops. As you hear my voice in the background. Beautiful. Right. So that look. I mean, yeah, it looks. I'm viewing it on my iPad. It looks good on my iPad. So hopefully it is better. I don't know. Maybe it's just something that fixed itself. Maybe it's on your phone. Make sure your quality is set to 1080p. Um, phones are so weird because they'll say like you can choose better, best. It won't have like a specific setting. And I know mine will be interesting. But I was looking at this sheet. All you need to know is that January, February. This is a sheet by Pudding Cheeks. I can put this. Let me put this in the chat. I think this. Yeah, okay. So this will link to the sheet. So I'll put this in the chat in case anyone wants to check that out. So tinyurl.com, Omi Burn sheet, and it has all the information. Thank you, Pudding Cheeks. He's, I think he's in Discord a lot. I don't know if he's one of the mods or anything, but really, really good information, really helpful. So it's not VeVe official numbers, but he extrapolates that from what we can see on the blockchain. We can't see everything. And then, of course, there's talk about, oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about. So, Comics and Crypto released what they felt was like a comics grading system, right? So, comics grading goes from like 0 to 10. 10 would be, there's never 10s that are available, right? 10 doesn't really exist in the comics world. But 9.8 is pretty much the highest comic you'll see in real life. Just came off the press. Every page is pristine and beautiful. Good to go. And so they tried to take that comics grading system and lay it over the top of what we have in VeVe. So they've used mint numbers. So the lower the mint number, the higher the grade, whatever. Interesting concept, fun. However, mint numbers and what the comic is and the cover and everything already give us enough of a rarity system where laying the physical comic grading system over the top doesn't make sense to me at all. And I feel like most people are feeling this way. And for me, I'm like, I don't think we need to try and fit the digital into what the physical already has existing, especially because the majority of people are not coming from a comic. And I'm not just saying comic background, because comic background, well, you could read comics, but a comic collector's background. And so this 0 to 10, 9.8, these grading systems, we're not used to them anyways. So us laying it over the top doesn't necessarily help us like understand what things mean any more than FAFE or the edition number does. We might as well just learn the edition numbers FAFE and skip the comic grading system. Plus, the comic grading system in the physical life has to do with the, if it's been damaged, the physical like appearance of the book. However, in the we don't have that. Of course, like comic books are perfect in the digital realm. So, uh, I don't think it's very important. I think we should stop trying to fit digital and physical, lay them over the top of each other. They are definitely complementary, but they are different things, and that's okay. And I think they're just it's a fun thing they're trying to do. Um, but there's been some people, I guess, and I didn't understand this. Some people like really upset about it. So I just kind of jumped in. There's a little conversation yesterday, and I just retweeted my thoughts. Essentially, what I just told you of like we should stop trying to fit physical into digital. Digital will be 10, 100x anything physical, as we've seen with Netflix and streaming services versus what DVDs and Blockbuster and everything is, because you can have something that is niche and it can find its audience anywhere it is. I mean, I've never really been into comics, but because now this is coming out, I've gotten into Marvel Unlimited because of it. You can find exactly what you want, and you can find it at any time of day, and you can buy it and get it delivered to you at any time of day. As opposed to comic collecting, you have to be a very specific type of person, be willing to make sure something is legit, be willing to make the connections of people who are also in that industry, and that excludes people who are fair weather comics, who only want specific brands, excludes people who don't want to take the time to do that, excludes people who maybe don't want to like meet other people, who are like nervous to talk and chat with other people. to get that. You can just do it all on app. It's all so easy. So that's why digital is just so much easier to buy, sell, collect. So that was a really interesting conversation. And then we do have these DC NFT cards, right? So this one was interesting. So there's two different licenses. There's DC and there's DC Direct. VeVe has the DC Direct license, which I believe is owned by Todd McFarlane. And then DC is a separate license. So they're doing this hybrid NFT trading cards. I'll probably pick up a box of these. I'm going to see if my local card shop has them. I like trying to support my local card shops when it is possible and when they have this stuff in stock. I'll probably head over there and see if they have it. I'll probably call them today. Um, what is it called? DC NFT cards. Buy it. Sorry. DCX Palm. Use. Now this was another one of DC Fandom. See if see website is operating. No, it's just random. That's just normal DC Fandom site. Mashable has a link to the website. Range between $5 to $120 to redeem the NFT collectibles. Patrons will have to download a mobile app called HRO. That's what it's called. HRO. Go. DC HRO. Okay, I think it's just on the app. So we can look at that later. I don't have it downloaded or signed. That's fine. So the NFTs will be redeemable and the buyer can sell them too, which is awesome. That's the whole point of NFTs. Each hybrid card is embedded with a unique QR code that links the physical card with their NFT replica. Established in 1765, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? So, all right. So you get the card, you have the NFT, and it links them. So, two opinions about this. Awesome. I love this. Magic the Gathering, you need to do this because I want to take my physical cards. I don't have tons of people to play with, right? And I can't always get together with people, but I want to like play with my deck that I've built. I want to scan that in at my physical cards and my deck. I put that into Magic Arena and I can now practice with that physical deck against other people around the world. And then I can take that deck, I can restructure it, say I want to add some things, try some things. It's much easier to do that with a digital deck than it is with physical. I then do that, I then put that into my physical, and I take that and play against friends. That would be awesome. Please do that. However, one thing I speculated is that, so these are paired together one-to-one. You have the NFT version and the card version. So the way they're doing it is kind of like how I just said Magic the Gathering, where you can buy and sell the NFT and you can sell the physical or vice versa. They're not necessarily linked together, and I will buy my own and kind of see how this goes. So my speculation is that if there is NFTs and physical linked together, like you buy them at the time of purchase, they are linked, they're together, they are a pair, they have the same serial number, they have the same mint number, whatever. Those now are like partnered for life, and it's important that the physical one stay in mint condition, and then you have the NFT, because whoever wants to buy them probably wants both. So could a degraded physical one hurt the value of the NFT as well? Possibly, I don't know. However, they're doing it like this. I speculated that could be the case with these. Maybe not. It's more of like they're just complementary. Just like on the VeVe app, we have that Inked Stories Eve, which is the lady with the snake wrapping around her and with eating the apple. Is that if you bought the NFT, you had the ability to pre-purchase the Eve Inked Stories vinyl toy. And so that's just an additive. That's just like a cool bonus. So a lot of this stuff is additive and cool bonuses, and I love that for the NFT space. But the NFT, I think, should be the main star of the show. This is pretty neat. Will it like destroy VeVe? Probably not. There's gonna make these are trading cards. They're gonna make a lot of them, and especially if they're popular, they're gonna make a lot more. Of course, you have Dark Side there. Um, so we will see. Will they make multi millions? Probably gonna probably make a lot of cards. I'm definitely gonna get a box of these just to check them out. I'm very curious. I don't really have an opinion besides that. I mean, they're gonna be cool. They definitely are. I used to collect these cards when I was little. I had a lot of X-Men cards, or I don't. I think it was mainly X-Men, whatever the Marvel cards were. So whatever it was at that point. I don't believe I had much because I don't have any back. Anyways, I digress. It was really, really fun collecting those because there's a lot of different heroes, right? And villains, and some that go back and forth. So that sounds super interesting. Very curious how they're going to deal with that. And then, and there's just a lot to talk about in the space right now. So we had the grading system, which I think is, who cares? I think comics and crypto should do what they want to do. And I even said, like in a tweet, 6 million cards. Yeah, so it's a lot of freaking cards, right? The entirety of the VeVe app has a little over like 3 million NFTs altogether. So 6 million, you can imagine. It's just going to be a lot of cards. And so it will be, oh, I mean, it says right here in the article. Sorry, I didn't read the whole thing. So 6 million trading cards, redeemable NFTs too. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be an experiment. So I can imagine, and there's going to be ones that are maybe NFTs will be minted on Ethereum's sidechain Immutable X, so it's still going to be on Immutable X. That's great. These Batman franchising Heart Patents fans will be able to lock to multiverse DC heroes. Hybrid cards range from 20. Yeah. I definitely have to go and buy it for sure. DC HR fishing license hybrid NFT. Yeah, I think this will be the future. Pretty much a lot of cards will go to this. Trading cards should go to this. At least you can keep track of what you have. Will these have any valuable value in the digital space? I don't know, unless there's a very rare one that is foil and it's of a very rare villain or superhero, and there's only several thousand, 10,000. You know, again, the VeVe app, there's about 3 million in the entirety of the app NFT right now. Probably a little over 3 million now. That includes comics and everything. So any individual card, depending on how many they have, could have several thousand, or they could have different versions of them. You know, I remember a lot of DC cards. So it depends how they do it. I'm excited for it. It will be cool. Definitely an experiment. I will definitely bite on this bit for sure. Keto 420, are you going to get some? Let me know. Pre-sale's only 1 million cards. I should probably get that pre-sale right now. And then we did see, let's see, my NFT tracker, but the collectibles here. So the graphs, we have seen Woody has gone up and down, up and down. We just want the floor price here. So 247 right now. This one I've remained patient for. He was sitting at like 350 for a while, then he dropped down to below 200. I tweeted out the other day, see total listings 725 here, right? Let's just look at total listings. The total listings have gone up and up and up, and in general, you see price driving down. And that's true. Like the more listings you have, in general, you're going to see price driving down. It's not always true. They don't need to be, but you will generally see people trying to undercut themselves, like so they can buy more stuff. And as I've said before, I'm not really selling stuff. If I received one of these off the drop, maybe I would have sold it, knowing or thinking that the drop is going to be the initial pump, as it is with many things right now. Is you get the drop, you sell it, and it has been even in January. You know, my Wonder Woman. If I could go back 2 months, I'd probably almost sell every single thing off the drop, except for stuff I knew I really, really wanted to keep. And then just wait a couple weeks and rebuy it, right? That would probably be the smart move for most things. I mean, the smart move for most things would have been wait and buy now. However, a lot of things still are up from January, the first week of January. So keep that in mind. I want to buy some, but I won't be back in the States until the beginning of April. Ah, interesting. You buy them online, maybe CHRO card. Resale. Reseller. Trading cards, savvy.com. eBay, of course. Okay. I'll figure out where they're having a pre-sale. I'll tweet it out or something. But yeah. So I'll probably buy a little bit of this. Pikachu Pop. I'm not really into the Funko Pops. Not for me. There's so many of them too. All right. Well, that is about it. So we had a lot to discuss. There's always more to discuss. Some new stuff on the way. Of course, I don't think they've announced anything. Say recently. Let's see what's going on here. They have. Beautiful. Marvel, Nyx #3 features VeVe exclusive rare and ultra rare covers by Will Finley. Frank de Armada drops Friday, March 8 a.m. Pacific Times, flying back. So that will be tomorrow. And by the way, again, happy St. Patrick's Day if you are someone who celebrates. Lots and lots of fun. So we have Nyx. This looks cool. They have the Medium article up already. We just had the Siryn drop. That is some cool artwork. So X23. The secret rare cover is my favorite for sure. Yes. Next offering, video digital comic lineup continues with another iconic comic from Marvel, Nyx #3, fully readable with 5 cover varieties. Box we're at 30,000 again. The first appearance of X23, as if one down on her luck runaway teenage mutant wasn't enough. There's some new genetically mutated blood headed for the New York City Lower East Side. Could this new face be related to Wolverine? And of course, we saw the movie Wolverine, X23 in that. This release features VeVe exclusive rare ultra rare covers. Okay, so again, 21,000 common, all the way up to 600 secret rare. Hopefully, I get one of these secret rare. This art style reminds me, if you played the game Gravity Rush on the Vita, or Gravity Rush 2 on the Vita or the PS4, has that like cell shading, like the whole city looks like this. A lot of browns and blacks and stuff like that in Gravity Rush, and that's what it reminds me of a lot. This one. All right, well, that's what we have coming up. Nyx #3, first appearance of X23. That could be a pretty big one. That's probably one of the bigger comics that we've had recently. Very cool, popular character. So check it out. All right, well, I will see you tomorrow morning then. Looks like, I'm sure, 8 a.m. Pacific time, as is tradition. Cool. And fortunately, we have gotten rid of daylight savings times officially, so the time we'll have light later. There's not going to be any. I always love gaining an hour, but losing an hour always sucks. Sucks so bad. So I'm glad the time will just be flat. I know the day of the Pixar drop was daylight savings time. A lot of international people who didn't know the US had daylight savings time were like, wait, the time changed? Because it was based on the US time, unfortunately. Well, thank you so much again. Like, follow, subscribe, share this with friends, family. Hit the like button because that really does help me with the whole YouTube algorithm and everything. So I really appreciate all of you. Tito420, appreciate you there. Thank you very much. We also had Mr. Pavel on the stream. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, share this with friends, family, colleagues, anyone who you think might be interested. Hitting the like button really does help. Commenting as well. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to chat. I do this because I love it. It's a lot of fun for me. It's a lot of fun to discuss different things. Remember, with comics and crypto, attack the idea, not the person. I don't have it. I've met them before. They're very funny. They're a lot of fun to be around with. So, keep that in mind. Be nice, you know. Take care. Great stuff. Thank you so much, Tito420. When Pokemon. Yes, thank you so much. And also check out When Pokemon's channel. An amazing YouTuber, Twitter personality as well. We every Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, have been having a Twitter space. It's been going really, really well. We've done it 3, maybe 4 times now. When Pokemon. So we will have again this Sunday, 10 a.m. When Pokemon and I. We were only able to do an hour last time. We both had previous engagements. I will be able to do it for probably more than a couple hours. We want it to be smaller and more focused because we want to get a lot of ideas. I know I have a lot to discuss this coming weekend with, again, the comic grading system, with these DC cards, with the comics, with how the market is doing. There's a lot to discuss this weekend, so be sure to stay tuned for that. It's a lot of fun. We want it to be a welcoming space, so everyone's welcome to jump up in the spaces, chat. I try and invite as many people up as I can because I just want people to like chat. If you've never tried it before, you're a little nervous, that's fine. Who cares? Who cares? Just get there. Do it. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Remember, be yourself, eat a cookie. Follow me on the 3 Cheese and IG, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram, and SodiPopMedia.com. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye.